Hello and welcome back to your PA Dutch Minute. We continue our series on famous Pennsylvania Dutch people. Today I come to you with a famous female Pennsylvania Dutch woman um, who was a lot of people outside of Pennsylvania Dutch country know her because of her fame, and that is Elsie Singmaster, a very famous author. So this I think is our first female that we've talked about in our series here. So let me tell you about Elsie. So Elsie Singmaster Lewers was her married name, was a descendant of the Macungie Singmasters and granddaughter of Macungie's first mayor, and she became one of the nation's most prolific writers during the early decades of the 20th century. Her stories regularly appeared in the pages of Atlantic Monthly, Century Magazine, Collier's, Ladies' Home Journal, Outlook, Pictorial Review, the Saturday Evening Post, and many, many other magazines. And numerous short story anthologies have been published by major publishing houses. She was born in Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, in August of 1879, and she was the daughter of the Lutheran Reverend John Singmaster and Caroline Hoops Singmaster. Her earliest years of public school were spent in Macungie, where her teacher spoke Pennsylvania Dutch. In 1887, the family left Macungie to accompany John, her father, to Brooklyn, where he was a pastor for a while, and then on to Allentown, where he was a pastor for 10 years. But Elsie and her brothers always delighted in their return to Macungie to spend summers with their parents and other paternal relatives. In 1900, the family moved to Gettysburg, where Dr. Singmaster became a professor at the Lutheran Theological Seminary. Though she returned to the Macungie area for many visits, Elsie's home remained on the campus of the Gettysburg Seminary for the majority of her adult lifetime. She was returned to her ancestral hometown of Macungie in Lehigh County, 1958, for burial in Fairview Cemetery, where she now rests beside her parents. Elsie was an 1894 graduate of Allentown High School and a 1907 graduate of Radcliffe College. She married Harold Lewers in April of 1912, but retained Elsie Singmaster as her pen name. The fictional setting for a large portion of Singmaster's local color literature about the Pennsylvania Dutch was Millerstown, renamed Macungie in 1875, and many of Macungie's actual citizens became prototypes for the characters who appeared repeatedly in Singmaster stories. Her first novel, Katie Gaumer, in 1915, was also set in Millerstown, and she reflected on those carefree days of her childhood as she told the story of three children growing up among the iron furnace, school, churches, and sheep stable of 19th century Macungie. Singmaster stories not only delight and entertain the reader, but also reveal Pennsylvania Dutch and Lehigh County history, dialect, and social customs. Elsie's greatest strength as an author was in the telling of the short story. Spanning nearly a full century and numbering nearly 350, her stories appeared regularly in American literary journals and popular magazines beginning in 1905 and ending in the late 1940s. She also published 42 books, mainly with the New York and Boston publisher Houghton Mifflin. Elsie's appeal as an author extended far beyond the boundaries of her home state of Pennsylvania. Her talent in telling delightful stories of children and young adults dealing with the challenges and moral values of a simple Pennsylvania Dutch community also found popularity with an international audience. Focusing her writing on the Battle of Gettysburg as well as the Pennsylvania Dutch culture, Elsie's story, The Courier of the Czar, earned a position of honor in 1924 by winning the O. Henry Short Story Award, and her 1934 novel Swords of Steel was a Newbery Award honor book. In 1950, Elsie was named a Distinguished Daughter of Pennsylvania by Governor James Duff. Upon publication of When Sarah Saved the Day, a juvenile novel about a brave young Pennsylvania Dutch farm girl who had ambitious dreams for an education, the Pennsylvania German magazine in 1909 wrote, "It is the first time that the Pennsylvania Dutch people have been presented in a decent way and in a manner that does them justice." The daughter of both an English Quaker and a Pennsylvania Dutchman, Elsie identified strongly with, and throughout her lifetime remained an outspoken advocate for the capable yet misrepresented Pennsylvania Dutch. As an advocate for women's education, Elsie encouraged her readers to seek self-improvement through education for the benefit of the American society. Exemplifying what she asked of others, she used her skills and knowledge professionally and publicly. Some of her short Civil War stories continue to be published in contemporary collections. Her work is considered technically and historically sound and humorous, though somewhat idealistic. It is still valued for its preservation of Pennsylvania Dutch culture, for its skillful and realistic Pennsylvania regional representation, and for its insights into another time and place in the American human experience. I have to admit that a lot of the information that I got for this video was gained from the Macungie Historical Society's website, so please feel free to check that out for more information. And if you'd like to read more about Elsie, I highly recommend the book Heart Language, Elsie Singmaster and Her Pennsylvania German Writings by Susan Colstock Hill, and that's available through the Penn State Press. Of course, her books are still available, I think, on Amazon and other places online if you'd like to actually read some of her literature. Elsie's not the only famous Pennsylvania Dutch author. She's the first one that I've talked about in this series, but she definitely won't be the last. And I'll continue on with some more famous Pennsylvania Dutchmen and Dutch women, hopefully, in this mini-series. And if you have an idea for someone that's famous Pennsylvania Dutch that you'd like to hear me do a video about, please send me an email. Or if you just have an idea for a Pennsylvania Dutch video in general, please feel free to email me. The email address is at the end of the video. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Share with a friend. Get the word out. Spread the Pennsylvania Dutch love. And until next time, keep practicing your Pennsylvania Dutch and Mox Goot.